Okay, right. We'll see some three things today. Okay, RTM. Okay, uh, test data. Okay, data preparation. Okay, then we'll see a sample test and all. Okay. So we'll see three things and we'll see what you do in your test closure. Okay, so this you will see, right? So this fourth we'll concentrate today and we'll finish it, right? So first one is RTM, right? Requirement traceability matrix, right? So what is the purpose? Why RTM, right? First one is to know test coverage. Okay. So how much, right? Requirement is met. Okay. How much requirement is met, right? For that we want to know RTM, right? How much client requirement is met, right? Client or customer, right?
So
For
you will
that.
be providing video for this today's session.
Yeah, I'll share it. Okay, how much customer requirement is met, right? For that the answer is RTM, right? For example, I have 100 requirements. Okay, for 100 requirement, well, I'm just telling a rough idea, not a like. I wrote some 5,000 test case. That 5,000 uh, right, I planned 5,000 test case. In that 5,000 test case, how much test cases I wrote? I wrote 4,000 test cases, right? In that 4,000 test case, how much is executed? 3,000 test case is executed. In that executed test case, right? 1,500, sorry, some 2,000 test cases have been passed. Okay, and next, right? 1,000 test cases have been failed. Okay, in the 1,000 test cases, 300 are severity one bug. Okay, and right. Okay, I'm just telling for a rough calculation, right? 250 or severity 2 bug. Okay, then right, and like it's 550, right? And then 200 or severity 3 bug. Okay, and the remaining 250 is a severity 4 bug, right? So like that, the complete project can be traced with the help of your RTM. That is why we go for RTM. So what are how many requirements are there? In that how many requirements, how much test cases are planned? Okay, in that planned test cases, okay, how many are wrote, how many test cases are wrote, and in that how many are executed, that how many in the after execution, how much is passed, how much is failed, what is the severity of the 1,000 bugs, right? 300 severity 1, severity 2, and severity 3, and severity. So the complete project can be tracked here.
Hello, sir.
Yeah,
How many test cases we can write at a time?
at a time means one by one you can go, right? How you can write parallelly,
Uh,
you can write test case.
as per requirement means we are using agile methodology, right? So that we can take test cases. Some test cases we can write, then we can give to client. Sorry, to developer. Then again we will write some test cases. Again they will fix bug. Then again we can give to developer like that. So how
Yeah.
many test cases we can write?
See, on an average, right? On an average, okay. Uh, you can write, right? Just an average, right? Depends, right? 25 test cases per day. on an average, right? Per day you can write 25 test cases, right? For example, right, you take this whatever requirement document we have, right? If you start writing, then only you know the why I am telling 25 test cases, right? See, if you open this particular requirement test case here, see there will be a lot of spelling mistakes here. So you'll make a lot of mistakes, right? Spelling mistake, grammatical mistakes, right? See, all these things are small letters. You have to change it. Lot of problems will come, and so that's why telling, right? You can't write 1,000 test cases per day. Practically, that is not possible, right? So if you start typing only, then only you'll understand how many test cases you write per day. And it's as I told you, it's not that how many test cases you are writing, how effectively you are writing. That is what it's
Yes.
the scenario, right? Like your 20% of test cases should cover 80% of defects. Okay, that is right. The quality of test case is important rather than how many test case you write. Okay, that is what is the most important thing, right? So that's why I'm telling, right? So you should not, you should make sure your description is very clear, understandable, and you're covering all the functionalities, and you're prioritizing the test cases. So everything is done properly, right? So that's why I'm telling, right? So like how
Thank you.
effectiveness of a test case is very, very
Yes.
important rather than how many test case you're writing. But of course you have to follow the schedule. There will be deadline there. You should follow as per your team instruction. But rather than more important is how effectively you are writing. That is also very, very important. Got it?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so this is right. So the complete project you can track, right? That is a purpose, right, of the RTM. Okay, so that is why we go for right RTM, right? Requirement test coverage or requirement coverage, whatever terms you can tell, right? So to know, right, how much requirement, right? And also you can tell, right, how many test cases are passed and failed. To know that also we can go for RTM. How many test cases we can write. So that is also purpose of the RTM. Okay, so this is the purpose of the RTM. Okay, if you take this as an example, right? Okay, now Deepika, you share the screen. We'll follow some basic RTM now. It's not there, Nicola.
No, sir, I think she got disconnected.
Okay, Pramod, someone you have that Excel sheet, right? You share the screen. We'll see how to do an RTM. Yeah, someone share the screen, right? Those who have that Excel sheet, sample Excel sheet. Okay, right. So what you do is you go to sheet 4. Okay, and you go to sheet 4. Okay, and create a template now. Okay, right. Your first one will be your right serial number. First one will be a serial number. I'm just creating a two basic RTM. That's it, right? Give serial number. Enable editing. And you give my above, right? You give enable editing. Now you can type. Okay, serial number, right? Then next, then you give requirement ID. Next column should be requirement ID. Requirement ID, right? Then you give requirement description. Okay. description, right? Okay, then right now you give test scenario ID. Next one is test case ID. Okay, and the next one, next column is bug ID. Right, and you have your like remarks, right? If needed, you can give your remarks, right? Okay, so we'll frame one just sample RTM. Okay, then we'll finish two RTM should do it. Okay, give serial number 1. Okay, and requirement, right? 1.1. You give one requirement ID 1.1. Yeah. Okay. Here, right? User should be able to requirement description. User should be able to search with valid bus details, right? Search with valid bus details. Bus details, right? Okay. We'll keep the scenario ID as we already have the scenario document, right? TS01. Good, right? Okay. And this test case is mapped to the scenario, right? Then we'll give TC01, TC underscore 01. Okay. Next, right? We'll write another requirement. Okay. Then right, we'll form another requirement. Okay. You give it serial number 2. Now 1.2, right? Yeah. Then okay, you copy and paste and you put it as invalid. The user should not be able to search with invalid bus details. Yeah. Invalid. No, you change valid into invalid. Okay. And then you give TS02, TS02, TS under 02. Okay. Then you give TC02. Okay. Now we consider, right, this is having one bug, right? Suppose, right, it's not accepting invalid bus details. Then if we can create bug ID here. Okay, the we can give B underscore 01 in your bug ID. D or B, okay, it depends upon the company, right? Right. So normally we use DEF underscore 01 defect, right? DEF underscore, it depends, right? Or that's it, right? You can give your right. So you can give this ID here. Like that, what we'll do is we'll enter all our details. Okay, like that we'll create this RTM. So as I told you, right, different companies follow different standard. This is one of a standard. Okay, this is right, and you can give your execution result status also. You can add status, right, past and file, right. Like before that, in between test case ID and bug ID, you can create one column status in between test case ID and bug ID. You can in between you insert one column here. Can insert one column. You give status there. No, not there. I think status should come after test case ID. Now you at least you copy the test case ID and paste there. So you copy the test case ID and paste, cut it and paste here, and you give the status there. That makes it easier. Your work easier. Cut it and paste in the E column, and there you keep status. That's it. Easy, right? Change it to status. That's it. There you give first one you give pass, and next one you can give the file, right? First one pass and next one file, right? Like that you can keep on writing your requirements from your SRS document. Okay, you can delete that. Yeah, thank you. Right. So this is one sample template, right? For a requirement like that, you can track your requirements, right? How many requirements are there, and how many scenarios you wrote for that requirements, and for that scenarios, how many test cases are linked to those scenarios. Okay, and those how many test cases are passed and how many test cases are failed. We can track with this help of RTM sheet. That is why we have this RTM sheet, right? RTM we can track with Jira also, right? And through the ALM, like application lifecycle management, ALM also we can track this RTM, right? So this is one sheet. Okay, RTM sheet, right?
Sir,
You have any questions here? Can you rename the
yes.
sheet to RTM sheet 4, right? You rename the key down, right? Rename the sheet to RTM. Down.
Yeah.
Yeah, you rename to an RTM sheet. Yeah. Have any questions here?
Sir, I have one question. Like, as hello.
Yeah. Tell me.
Yeah. As we are mentioning, we are tracking our test cases and test scenario in RTM itself. So, for example, here we have written test case ID, sorry, test scenario ID. For one test scenario, we can write multiple test cases,
Yeah.
right? So, for example, test case one got pass for this scenario. At the same time, if test case two is failing, so we have to mention that also in this column only.
See,
Everything.
suppose, right, there is an requirement where test case 2 is mapped to your scenario test case 1, scenario 1. Okay. In that case, you should give TS01 in the second row.
Okay.
If suppose you are writing multiple test case, or you can give TC01 comma TC02 in the first column itself.
Okay. Yeah, okay. For example, test scenario one, how many test cases we are writing, we have to mention that in this column itself.
Yeah. Okay, normally you know shoot, right? Shoot is a collection of test case, right? And
Yes.
you can give a status as a shoot also, you can give as a status.
Okay.
A
Okay.
group of
What
test,
is that? Sorry,
Or
sir.
else, sir, yeah.
pardon me?
Or
What
else we
is
can
test
also
suite?
mention test individual test case steps in different column also, like here test case one, here test case two. That in that way also we can
Yeah, that
maintain.
will so that's why, right? So we can follow our own standard, right? Depends upon it's not like a mandatory. We have to follow only this template, right? It's we can customize it according to our own needs, right?
But in RTM,
Not
like we
necessary,
will be,
pardon me?
yeah, in RTM we will be mentioning each and everything, how many test cases got passed and how many got failed. Everything will be
Yeah, that
get
is the purpose of RTM, right? The purpose of RTM is to track your requirements, right? So if you know, if you update your status, then only know we can track the requirement, right? Otherwise, we can't track the requirement. Then the purpose is not there, right?
Yes. And here, like in this bug ID column, like if we are creating a bug in a Jira, that ID we have to mention here, it right?
Yeah. So see, if you are using bug Jira, no need of this
Hmm.
Excel sheet. We will raise there itself. Bug report will be raised there itself.
Okay. But in my company, so we are using like a Jira tool. So
Okay.
like, but I'm not maintaining any RTM because it's a startup. So we are not following this all these things.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
okay.
Okay. So, so this is the we'll see Jira, right? We'll plan for Jira session also. Okay. So this
Sir, like I have one request. If possible, can you just demonstrate us like how we can use Bugzilla?
yeah, sure. We'll see. We'll
Okay.
explore that. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Thank you.
fine. We'll see. Maybe next week we'll plan something. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, fine, right. Then you have your,
Hello, sir.
yeah. Tell me, madam. Yeah.
Uh, priority here we have to take or not?
No. In
Here
your
priority wise.
bug report itself, you have see bug report itself priority we are giving, right? Severity and priority we give in a bug report itself. No need to give this priority and all here. By seeing that they will,
Okay.
so that will be reported. See, the priority is the purpose of priority is to tell the developer like when to fix the bug. That is why we give priority, right?
Okay. You were saying from here we have to take the which are fail or pass test cases. Then we have to execute it in Jira,
No,
or
no,
which
no,
are
no.
only fail test cases.
See, this is after execution. Before till test case ID, you'll do in your design phase. Status bug ID will be updated in your execution phase. You got understood, right?
Yes. Test execution
Yes.
phase.
In your test execution phase, you'll update till test case ID. See, till requirement description, it will be done in requirement phase. You understood? Till requirement description,
Yes.
it will be
Yes.
completed in your requirement phase. Scenario ID and
Yes.
test case ID will be done in your design phase.
Execution.
No, test
Okay.
design phase. Scenario ID and
Okay.
test case ID will be created in your design phase. And status and
Okay.
bug ID and remarks will be done in your execution phase.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
You understood,
Thank
right?
you.
So your RTM
Yes.
starts from the life cycle itself, right? Software testing life cycle early itself it starts. Okay, right? So can we move next? You're fine, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Then we'll go to the next sheet, right? Can you go to the next sheet? Okay, right. You delete it and we'll prepare test data here. Okay. We'll just create one sample test data. Okay. Give serial number first. No. First give serial number. Yeah, serial number. Next one is test case ID. Okay. Now you just we'll form some fields, right? Parameters which we have, right? For example, first one will be from place. From place, right? Underscore place. Good, right? Okay. Next will be to place. Okay. Now, and second will be from date, right? From date. From date. Okay. Next one will be right. For example, number of passengers. I'm telling right number of passengers. Next one, right? Preferred window. Preferred seats, right? Preferred seats. Oh, sorry. Preferred seats, right? Okay. That's it, right? So all these things will be your right columns in your test data sheet, right? Now what we should do is we should go to our test cases, go to KSRTC test cases, right? You go up, go to the front, the first part. The test data will be prepared in your test design phase, right? Go up, scroll up. So you should now what you should do is you should go up, okay? Go to the top first one, right? You should see this, read this first test case. You are given some parameters, right? Test data parameters. For this, what are the inputs you are going to give? That you should form it. Okay, for this first test case, what are the parameters you are going to give it? That you have to prepare that in a separate sheet. So this is what you do. First, you should do that. Then you should go to the next test case and input the parameters like that. You should create in a separate sheet, or you can add a column here in your test case also, and you can give that input. That depends upon the how your company needs your document, right? I'm creating in a separate sheet, but you can copy and paste inside this column also. Got it, right? Okay. And now you go to that sheet 5. Okay, now serial number first one, right? Next one is test case ID TC001. Okay, give Chennai.
Chennai to
Okay, now you can give some like some place, right? Hyderabad, like that. You can give some place. And you give a from date. Sorry, we missed 2 days. Okay, you give from date. Okay, from date you give. Okay, that's enough. That's understood, right? Okay, then you give number of passengers, right? 2. Then preferred seat, right? Window seat. Okay, like that. Right, like that you can give, right? Next, you can give same thing. You can copy. Okay, then you can give serial number 2. Like suppose the next test case is for invalid, right? Give 2. Okay, TC02. Okay. You give Chennai, right? Some other, right? You make a spelling mistake wrong, or you add something, right? Do something. Right. Okay. Some B, right? And okay, there's a spelling mistake there, right? Then you can change the date into past date. Instead of present date, you can give the past date, right? Past date, it's invalid, right? Okay. Some past date. Okay. Then you give some, right? You can give something, right? So you can try with the negative values also. Okay. So that is called invalid. So for all your data should be for all. Suppose you wrote some 50 test cases, right? For 50 test cases, you should prepare one data. This a separate team will prepare. By seeing this data only, you are going to execute the test case. So while executing a test case, you should not input your own data, and you should see this data. From this data only, you have to go and input the condition. Okay. So this is how you should prepare your test data sheet also. Okay. Any questions?
sir, in this case, like as we are preparing test data sheet, so this test data will be prepared by us, by testers only, right?
So testers only will prepare. Sometimes, right, depends, right? They form a separate team also for doing that, right? So in a team, right, there is one 10-member team, like 2 people can write separately will be allocated, and they might prepare the state data, or you might be a part of the team also, or right, you will also. That depends, right? Everything depends.
Okay, okay.
Hello.
Yeah, you got it, right?
We should mention timings also, right, sir?
Pardon me?
Timings.
I didn't get you.
We should write timings also, right, sir?
Timings. He's saying timing. Like at what timing he's saying, sir?
Test data, what time you wrote the like data?
No, like he's saying like we have mentioned the test
Yeah,
data
yeah,
like
yeah.
from
This is
in
sample.
timing also.
We just is a
This is just
sample,
a
right?
sample.
It's just a
Okay.
sample. If you want to write what are the column fields you have in your module, right? That all those fields you can write. Then you can start writing your data here.
Mhm.
Understood, right?
But sir, in I think so. Yesterday, as you discussed, like whenever we are writing test cases, we have to make sure like we are like yesterday you told 4 points. We have to keep those 4 points in mind,
Yeah,
right?
same thing. While preparing test data, also you should keep in mind and do that, right? We saw positive flow, negative flow, alternate flow, and exception flow, right? So
Yes,
all these
yes.
4 things should be covered while preparing your test cases.
Okay, okay.
Understood, right?
So based on this test data only, the number of test cases will be increasing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Understood?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions?
No.
In the meantime, you said test suite. What is that?
The test suite is collection of test cases called as test suite. Okay, for example, right, there is a username text box. Username text box, you can check with the alphabets, you can check with the alphanumeric, you can check with special characters, you can check with the uppercase, lowercase, case sensitive. see all those 5 test cases is related to one feed, right? So all those 5 test cases you can combine and then you can call it as a test shoot.
Okay, okay. Sir, one more question. Can we do here database testing? Because we have to take only one or
Yeah,
the
see,
just
for
we
example,
will
right,
take.
there is you are doing a KSRTC bus search, right? You are searching the flight detail, you are searching the bus details, okay? But you after search, it's navigating to the next page. There is a result which is coming, right? That comes from database. So you should check not only in front end, you should check in back end also. That is called database, right?
Hello? Hello?
Yes, please
Yes,
do.
yes. But yes, we will do. But how we will connect that SQL to in our test cases? Like I can't visualize it.
See,
Hello?
mostly what we do is functional testing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
For that, we have to create a separate thing. You're talking about an execution, right? Execution, how you are going to execute. That's what you're telling.
Yes, yes, sir.
I will anyway complete it and I will update.
Yeah, execution means you will have an like for example, like you have a MySQL workbench, right? In that you will have some tables of your project. By going and using that select commands, right? You know DML commands, right? And hope you are aware of the join, subqueries and all, right? So with that you connect tables and you select and you try and check and the what you result which you get in front end and what you get in your database both is matching or not. You will check it.
It happens in evening time.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, yes.
Okay, fine, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, sure.
then right. Let me share the screen.
Okay. Yeah.
See, I have some sample test plan. Okay, this is a very old one. Okay, this it's I didn't create. It's downloaded from Google only. We are just discussing, right? I'm just seeing what is a sample test plan. This is a very old one, not a fresh one. Okay, but I'm just telling what are the contents will come in your test plan document, right? First will be a revision history. Okay, so revision means how when and all it's reviewed and what are the changes, what are the versions it's there, who reviewed it, and what is the description. So first one, what we'll see is your revision history, right? So this is what will be the first in the your test plan document, right? Next, right? You'll have table of contents, right? In your you'll have a table of contents where you'll have introduction, scope, okay, test strategy, okay, environment requirements, okay, test schedule, control procedures, okay, functions to be tested, resource and responsibilities, okay, deliverables, suspension, resumption criteria, dependencies, and your risk, right? So you all these things you'll have in your test plan: tools, documentation, and approvals, right? So these all will be the contents of a test plan, right? So any document will have an introduction. Okay, any document like requirement or test plan, right? Test strategy document or yeah, summary report also. Any document will have a like from some 4 or 5 line introduction about the project and that particular document what you are going to do. Okay, so first column you will have your like introduction of that particular document. Okay. Next, you will have a plan objective. What is the objective of the plan document, right? To define the activities required to prepare and to conduct system testing, right? So what is the purpose of this plan document? The purpose is you are going to do some testing and you are going to give the schedule and to identify the risk associated with their project, right? So that is the main objective of a test plan document that will be clearly mentioned in your test plan object. Okay. Next one is scope, right? Scope means what are the modules you are going to cover and what are the modules you are not going to cover, right? So what and all you are going to cover in your testing, that will be mentioned in your scope. There is two things, in scope and out scope. In scope means what to be tested, and out scope means what not to be tested. That will be clearly mentioned in your plan document. Okay, so you are going to do the data entry part, the report part, the file transfer part, and security part. Okay, so they will clearly tell you what you are to do. Okay, okay, and what you have to do in that particular module. Each payroll check will need a user ID and a password to log in the system. The user requires a clerks to change the password every. So what you are going to do, like what is a module, or what functionality you are going to do, that will be clearly mentioned in your in scope and your out scope. Okay, next, what test strategy, as I told you in the initial classes, test strategy means what to test, right? You do this testing or you don't do this testing, that will be clearly mentioned in your test strategy, like system testing, performance testing, right? Security testing, like automation testing you have to do. Okay, and you go and in depth, right? There's stress and volume testing, recovery testing, documentation test, and beta test, and user accept testing. Okay, so they will tell you what are the testing you have to do in your test plan document, in your test strategy. It will come under your test strategy, right? What are the different tests you have to perform? Okay, that will be clearly mentioned in your test strategy. You can hear me?
Mhm. Sir, yeah, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir, for different project, it will be decided like what all testing we have to perform. It
Yeah,
will be
it depends
based on
upon the
environment.
project. Yeah, it depends upon the project. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, next one is your environmental detail. This is also, it depends upon the project, right? So it will vary with the one thing you'll do database, other thing you won't do database. A particular will be web-based application, it will be Java-based or a .NET based, right? So all these environmental details will be mentioned in your test plan document, like with different hardware. Like this is an old one, but a lot of things are updated recently. Okay, so but this is a general test plan as per market standard, right? So environmental requirements of your application or system, that will be clearly mentioned, and you'll have a test schedule also, when to start and when to finish, right? You start system testing on this date and finish it. System testing on this date and finish it. Beta testing on this date and finish it, and user acceptance. So you'll have your detailed schedule. So like a timetable, right? When you're in your when you're studying in a college, right? We'll get a timetable, right? Same thing, like it's a timetable where you'll know when to start and when to finish. Okay, like for example, test cases should be written started this time and ended this time, right? Execution should be started this one, environmental setup should be started this time. Like that, you can get a detailed schedule of your like your work, right? So it eliminates the eliminates the right gap between the team. Okay, that is the purpose of the test plan document, right? So next one is, right, control procedures, like what are the review meetings we have. Lastly, we'll have, right, if you take about agile, right, scrum meeting will be there. Okay, retrospective meeting will be there, right? Defect triage meeting will be there. So when when you'll have these meetings, when we'll have these reviews, right? And we saw about a change request, right? Change request, enhancement request, and maintenance request, right? So I told, right, when a change request is made, it will be directed to change control board. Change control board, what they'll do is they will do impact analysis. They will decide whether it can be changed or not. Okay. From that, they will give an approval. Then only the change request will be proceeded, right? So when you'll have bug meetings, when we'll have bug review meetings, okay, how you are going to defect code, and what is a bug life cycle. Okay, who is going to validate the bug, right? So if any person is like went on leave, who is going to be reassigned? So all these, right, details will be clearly mentioned in your right control procedures. Next one, they'll give you in detail what are the functions you are going to test. Okay, so what are the functions in detail they will give you. Okay, and next one is your roles and responsibilities. Okay, roles and responsibilities. So who are the team members in your project, like project manager, test lead, 5 testers, okay, payroll department manager, and 5 payroll checks, clerks, right? And what are the works responsibilities of an individual person, right? A project manager responsible for the project schedule and the overall success of a project, okay? And participate on a change control board. Okay, so they'll give you a detailed like a responsibility of individual person, so that there is no gap and a clear understanding between the team members, right? The lead developer, what is his role, and test lead, what is his role, okay, testers, right? What is his role? So that will be clearly mentioned, right? And payroll. So this is one resources in the team. Okay, what is the role of the payroll department manager, payroll clerks, right? Will assist in perform data and new. So this is from the client place. This is from the customer place, right? So they are also like they are also one of the stakeholder in the project. So these two are the from the customer place. Those people will be also given, right? Serves as a between a pair department, helps will coordinate the beta testing effort, participate on CCP. Okay. Next one is your deliverables, right? What are the reports you have to submit after your testing? Okay. So develop test cases, test case review, or develop automated test suits, requirement validation matrix, okay, complete defect report, okay, document and community status report. This is our team purpose, okay. When you have to finish, okay, when you have to submit, okay, who want to do, who's the responsible person for that, okay, who is going to execute beta testing, alpha testing, right? User acceptance testing. When the final summary report has to be given, right? So everything will be detailedly given, right?
Sir, basically in a deliverable, like basically like we are trying to say that like which task is assigned to which person, like.
Yeah, it will be clear like a schedule. So I told, right? Test plan is nothing but a schedule. Who is assigned to which task when you have to submit, right? So that deliverables are nothing but your artifacts. Both deliverables and artifacts both are same. Both tells when you have to submit that one. That is called as your artifacts.
Both are same, right?
Yeah, artifacts and deliverables both are same. Okay, next one is suspension and resumption, right? When you have to suspend the code, when you have to accept the code. For example, right, sanity testing didn't pass, right? You suspend the code. Hardware software is not available, suspend the code. There are more critical defects there, you suspend the code. And when you have to accept the code, that also will be clearly mentioned. Okay, so suspension and resumption criteria will be clearly mentioned, when to suspend the code and when to accept the code, and who is going to suspend the code. Like the quality manager may choose to suspend the testing. Okay, who is going to suspend the code, right? The quality manager will be suspend the testing, like that. So who is going to suspend the code and when you are going to suspend, and when you are going to accept the code, that will be clearly mentioned. Okay, next one is dependencies. Okay.
Sir, this resumption criteria is we can also call it as entry criteria, right?
No, entry criteria is different. Resumption criteria is different. Resumption
Okay.
means when you are suspending, when you are accepting back, and what point you are accepting back, that is called resumption. Entry criteria means when to start testing. That is called as entry criteria.
Okay.
When you have
And
to
what?
start the testing, that is called as an entry criteria.
Okay, okay. And resumption is like, what is the difference like?
Resumption means suppose, right, you are studying in a college, right?
Okay, okay.
I suspend, you did some mistake, I suspend you, right? And
Mhm.
after 15 days, right, I see you are doing some good work, right? You are really good. I thought you felt you are good. Then what I'll do, I'll accept it. Okay, then I'll tell you come back to college, you continue your studies. That is called accepting, right? So that is called as assumption, right? After a bug has been fixed or a critical defect is solved, you accept it back, right? That is called as resumption.
Mhm.
You got it?
Yes, yes.
Okay, next one is your dependencies, right? What are the things you are depending upon? Okay, so that will personal dependencies. Testing team require experienced tester to develop, perform, validate tests. Testing team will also note the following resources. So what are the dependencies in the project that will be clearly mentioned in your test plan document? Okay, next is your risk. what are the risks involved in the software, that will be clearly mentioned, right? Schedule risk, there may be a delay in the code, there may be a delay in finishing the project, okay? Your tool might not work properly, hardware, software issue might come, okay? Resources might quit the job, okay? So there are a lot of risk involved in the right, in the project. And what are the risks involved in the project, that will be clearly mentioned, right, your test plan document, okay? And take a technical risk also, right? Yeah, the clerk is not available, okay? Some server problem is there, like that. There are a lot of risk involved in the project, and what are the risks and what are the solutions for that, that will be clearly mentioned. And what are the tools you are using in the project, that will be clearly mentioned. And the what are the documentation, final reports you'll get after your end of a testing, that will be clearly given, okay? What are the reports you are giving, that will be clearly mentioned. And who are going to approve the document, okay? And the signature and the date, that will be clearly mentioned here, okay? So got it?
Yes, yes.
Okay, guys. This is a thing, okay? Then we'll plan another session maybe next week. I'll tell you what is next, okay?
Sir, you will be giving this like document to us?
Yeah, sure. I'll send you.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Sir,
Thank you.
sir, one more thing. Hello.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, like, are you going to start any like automation batch? Like we have discussed in.
I've started one recently. Before 2 days, I'll speak to you.
Okay, okay. Yeah, sure. Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Hello.
Sir, to know the automation testing, do we need to have basics of core Java?
Yeah, basics is if it is you have that, that helps.
Okay. Like writing the simple programs, like knowing the class methods and objects, right?
Basic, right? The basic understanding of Java, like constructors, inheritance concept, right? All this polymorphism, right? And interface. What is a class, object? All these basic concepts you should have.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Thank you, sir. When you start the class, please let me know. Let us know.
What's your name?
Sridhar, sir.
Okay, I'll tell you. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.